So what needs to be considered when setting up a workstation for the user? In the following sections, each aspect of the workstation will be looked at in turn. The chair is usually the piece of furniture that has the most adjustability and can make the most difference between being comfortable and uncomfortable. There is a variety of ergonomic chairs on the market, but the most important factor to consider is the adjustability. Remember, everyone is different. Adjustability can also bring problems because it's just as easy to adjust a chair into the wrong position as it is to adjust it correctly, so it's important that the user knows the basic parameters. The main adjustments as set out by the display screen equipment regulations are that a work chair should be stable and allow the operator freedom of movement and a comfortable position. The seat back should be adjustable in both height and tilt. The required standards now lag behind advances in chair design, and some chairs will offer additional adjustability to suit the amounts of both lumbar and sacral support the user needs. The seat height should be adjusted so that the user's feet are comfortably supported by the floor and there is no pressure being put on the underside of the thighs. If the seat is positioned too low, the user will have a tendency to lean forwards, reducing the angle between the thighs and body, which can impede circulation. If the seat is too high, it can start to cause problems with the lower limbs. The legs will dangle, and this can put great pressure on the underside of the thighs, which then affects the circulation to the lower leg. In this case, the user will need a footrest. The depth of a seat is also important in reducing any pressure on the underside of the thighs. The user should be able to sit back in the chair with the backrest supporting them, but there must still be clearance behind the back of the calves. If the seat is too deep, the user will have a tendency to perch on the edge of the chair, and then they lose the support to their lower back. If the user does sit back in the chair, the problem transfers to the back of the knees, which can cause pressure points or limit circulation in the lower legs. Although slightly less of a problem, if the chair is too shallow, it can also create pressure points on the underside of the legs. The backrest should provide support to the back in all sitting positions, and in particular the lumbar region. Being seated puts enormous pressure on the back, and in particular the lower back, so getting the correct back support is crucial to comfort and the prevention of injury. The legal standard recommends support from the bottom to the shoulder blades. As well as lumbar support, research has shown that supporting the spine in the sacral area has a direct impact on a user's posture. The position of the pelvis is linked to the position and alignment of the spine. If the forward tilt of the pelvis can be encouraged, this will help to align the spine without the need for lumbar support. Research has shown that being seated in a reclining position has advantages over sitting bolt upright all day long. It increases the angle between the torso and thighs, which helps to improve circulation and blood flow. This will also encourage the user to change positions regularly and so avoid static postures. When we're in a reclined position, some of the weight from the lower back is transferred to the chair, which reduces pressure on the discs. If the standing position places 100% pressure on the spine, this increases to 140% when we sit down and to 190% when we sit leaning forwards. But if we sit in a reclining position, that pressure reduces to just 105%. If the user has armrests on the chair, they should not interfere with the seated posture and must allow the user to get close enough to the desk. They should be positioned high enough to lightly support the arms and aid getting out of the chair, but not be so high as to force the user into a hunched shoulder posture. So, to summarize, the key adjustments that should be considered when choosing a chair are the adjustability of the backrest, the height of the seat, the depth of the seat, the degree of back support and the ability to recline, and the adjustability of armrests. It should be noted that even in the best set-up workstation with the best chair, the most important factor in reducing the risk of health problems is frequent change of posture. We should all take regular breaks throughout the day, and frequent short breaks are better than longer, less frequent ones. Remember that movement is essential to the body's well-being. The general advice is that a user should try to get up and move away from the desk for 5 minutes each hour. This is more beneficial than having a break for 15 minutes every 3 hours. So, if you've completed the first 3 modules without taking a break, now is the time to get up, stretch your legs, get a cup of coffee and move around.